Hey, Kalina, long time. Hey, you guys, so good to see you all. I see some names, some new people here. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Beverly. Very nice to meet you. Hi, Fazil, Anoop. Thank you for showing up again, week after week. Really, really excited for today's session. I have a lot to share. A lot of people from the Middle East. Very nice to meet you all. And quite a few new names. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm going to try and make sure that you get worth your while and your time for spending your 45 minutes on a Saturday morning with me. Hi, Samir. Thanks for joining. Thank you, everyone.
Good
Um,
morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Thank you, guys. We have a lot to discuss today, but we are also at the same time going to take it at a little bit of a slower pace because I want to make sure that what we are going to do actually lands today. It's important. The concept is really important. Today is the session where we kick off our Claude for Dummies series, three-part series starting off today. Today we learn how to build your first AI super practitioner agent that is personalized for yourself. Next week we go into diving a little bit deeper with Claude Cowork
Mhm.
and get a deeper dive in Claude Cowork, get started how to use Claude Cowork. And then the third session is going to be how to make
Okay.
um, multi-agentic products that you can use in your own sort of use cases and things like that. So really excited to get started with this. Before we go there, I have some personal news that I would like to share with you all. Hi, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kayuri Anand. The personal news that I wanted to share is that this past week, I joined Applied Systems as an AI products director. And this is huge for me personally. My life has come full circle. Thank you, thanks guys. I am a non-technical professional who used to underwrite insurance policies over 15, 17 years ago. And everything that I know has been self-built, self-taught. I built built traditional products, SaaS products for insurance domain, and a little stint in legal tech over the last 15 years. In the last 4 years, when ChatGPT was launched, I dived with both feet in the AI space. And I've spent the last 4 years learning AI, applying AI, building AI native products. And now my role here at Applied Systems super exciting because I get to transition the whole organization from traditional SaaS to AI native products. And as I do that, I also get to transform the organization, the people side of things. So transforming people who build traditional products to AI native products. And
Yeah.
it's super exciting to me because, and the reason I'm sharing this is to share with you that this is absolutely possible. If somebody like me who has no technical education, and if I can do it, you can too. And heck, I bet my whole career on this idea that you don't need a computer science degree to exceed and lead in AI is actually massive unlock, and it's a massive level set for everyone. So I'm here to teach you and help you do the same and figure out how we can make AI your superpower. Cool. By the way, in the new role, I'm also going to be building an AI native team. So if you are in the market, make sure to follow me on LinkedIn because once those roles open up, once I start hiring, that's the top spot to find out that latest information about what I'm hiring for and what roles I'm trying to fill, and they'll open up to my network first. So thank you. enough about me and enough about my work. Let's get started and start talking about you. So, for those of you that are new, my name is Kayuri and I just started in the AI Director of Products role. Prior to that, I've built uh, native SaaS products for a number of companies. I also sit on a couple of boards that set standards for product development and new product development and advice on AI councils. So, getting into the content now, top of mind, cameras on, mics off, lots of reactions and emojis. Let's party in the chat messages because I'm going to go back and read them after. I will pause once we move from one section to the next for questions, relevant questions to the content that I'm teaching you today only in that time. And then at the end, anything. We'll open up for anything and everything. So if you have other questions that are not relevant to today's topic, please hold it till the end and I'll be here for as long as it takes. Okay, every session I teach follows this exact same structure. We start with a mindset shift. So what is the mindset shift you need to embody to go from a non-AI savvy person to an AI savvy person, and how to mental models, how to think about some of these things in order to help you succeed with the tools that we're going to learn and practice. Then we talk about a concept that is relevant to AI and ML. So basics 101 concepts that you need to understand and use. Then we apply those concepts in a hands-on demo. My uh, choice tool of choice is Claude, but anything that I teach you here is more or less transferable to Copilot. I know a lot of people have access to Copilot through work. uh, Very much, a lot of it is very transferable. So focus on the mindset shift, learning the concept, and then application. And then if you don't have Claude, but you have access to Copilot, uh, try to figure out parallel features with it. As I teach you, if you have, we'll give you handouts at the end. So you can take the handouts and try it on your own in whatever LLM tool that you use. At that point, if you have questions, LinkedIn is the spot to ask me those questions outside of course. Once the course starts, and if you're part of the course, we'll have a community channel that you will have access to me more frequently and my team. Okay, we are 8 minutes in. 137 of you have joined us, so let us get this started. Mindset shift. So the main mindset shift that we need to have here is most people see AI as a tool that can execute. And that's now, right? So if you were with me in the last lightning session last Saturday and the Saturday before, we talked about a shift from going from how to evolve from using AI as a search engine and using it the same way as you use Google search, how to evolve from that to actually getting these LLMs to do some tasks for you. So now, if you're with me since the last two sessions, you are executing, you using AI to do your work. Now we're building on top of that. So great, you've practiced, you know how to do research using AI, you know how to offload it, a whole bunch of work or a nicely structured prompt that says, go and generate these images for me or draft these documents for me and so forth. That's execution. But if you stop there, then you're ignoring the whole potential of AI as it relates to building a thought partner. And what I mean is, while AI does the execution for you, you can also leverage it to be a thought partner for you. And remember, I said partner. What this means is don't outsource your thinking. By all means, outsource all your execution to it. But do not outsource your intellectual work completely to AI. The reason I say this is because it still has a lot of limitations. So AI still can't autonomously handle complex tasks that require real judgment. Oh, speaking of complex tasks, drop in the chat because I'm really curious to know who got to try Fable 5 for the 48 hours that it was on. Really curious. I was really impressed. I felt for those 2 days like I was working in the future, a very expensive future, by the way, because it's an expensive token cost wise expensive tool. But if you got to try it, I really want to hear in the chat what use cases you tried it for. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, quick TLDR, Anthropic launched this new frontier model called Fable 5. It was
Yeah.
5, yeah. It's supposed to be the next gen model. It really was. It was really good, but it was so good that the regulators had to step in and stop because it was too good for its own good. And you are welcome to search about it, read about it. 48 hours is all we had it for, and now it's no longer available for safety reasons. Okay, so moving on, limitations still can't autonomously handle a lot of complex tasks that require cognitive abilities, thinking, reasoning. It's getting better. Every model gets better from the last one. Um, Generic results, AI outputs are often solid, but they are not novel with it's hard to differentiate how you think and what that generates. And then the skill atrophy is a big one. If you outsource all your thinking to AI, eventually you will stop building the critical thinking muscle for your own. And instead of getting better at your work, you will get worse at your work. So we don't want to do that. So what's the catch, right? Like, how do you fix that? There are ways in which you can set up Claude to actually work as a thought partner that addresses all of those things. And the single answer to all of those shortcomings in current models are context. Context is king. That's the one line mindset shift that I want you to take away from this session, that context is king. And learning what context is and using it in Claude, in your AI agents as you start to build them, will really unlock the abilities for it. So let me now go ahead and switch out a little bit. So I want to talk to you about what context is. How many of you know, like, you know, the word context and what it means in the English language, which is background information? But how many of you actually know what it means as it relates to the large language models? Um, and so forth. A quick raise of hands. We're not going to go into it because I want to get into the content, but a quick raise of hands would be helpful if you know the actual background information of what context is and how it works. Cool. Sarah knows. Okay, let me show you what it means and how it shows up in the way these AI products work. And then at the end of this, when I'm done, you will all be able to raise your hands and say that you know what context means. A quick check. Can you guys see my screen or no? Somebody say
Yes, we
yes.
can.
We see your
Yes.
slide deck. Yes, we see your slide deck.
Oh, you see my slide deck still. Okay. Give me 1 second. This is something new that we are trying. So I'm hoping that you can see this screen that says AI context, no?
It's
All
still
right.
loading.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see how it does.
Still loading. It says Kayuri has started screen sharing. It'll get there.
But it's not. Okay, hold on. This is why we practice and we troubleshoot before the session. And yet,
Still loading.
okay. Not to worry. I was trying to, here's what I'm trying to do. I got a different screen that lets me draw and do things. And that's what I was trying to. here, but doesn't look like Zoom wants to work. And here, let me stop sharing completely and see if it shows up here. For those of you that are still joining, we are trying to connect our screen so we can actually, we are trying to connect our screen so we can actually talk through some core concepts here. Okay, I think we
We can
are.
see it. We can see it.
Yes, we sure are. Thank you very much for hanging in there with me. Okay. You can see AI context, yes? Yes, you can. Okay, so let me do this. Yeah. What comes to mind when I say, okay, feel free to unmute and help me fill this answer.
To me, it's the story. It's the whole story behind the ask. All of the stuff that the reason for why, the other relationships that are going on, the disappointments. It's things that you don't want in there and things that you do want in there.
Right. So if I say the cat sat on a dash, what would you write? And all of you, like just unmute and tell me what comes to mind.
On
What's
a
the word
table.
that comes to mind?
Couch.
On
Wall.
a table.
Anyone?
Car.
Wall.
Mat.
Cats.
Their owner.
Cat.
Okay. 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 So essentially, the large language models are essentially hyper advanced guessing machines. So they look at this string of words and predict what's going to come next. Very similar to how you all did, right? You're trying to predict the next word based on what you know. Looking at this sentence, your brain said couch and the other things that you did. You use the immediate context of these 5 words to make an educated guess. You also used your past understanding of the world. Where do cats normally sit? And you said the words that you said. That's pretty much how the large language models work. They're trained on the knowledge of the world, and they will guess the next set of words, sentences, and so forth. So what happens when I say this word? When I say a bank, if I give the AI just this one word and ask it to write a story, so if I say, write a story about the cat sat on a bank, it has a problem. It doesn't know whether bank is a financial institution or is it an edge of a river or is it a turn in an aeroplane? It doesn't know which meaning of bank to use. Without context, the large language model, the AI, has to guess blindly what this word means. And this is where hallucinations actually happen. So now, if we had this information, so if I say, yesterday, I went fishing. My handwriting's not the best, so I'm saying it out and hopefully you can still follow along. I went fishing by the bank and caught a trout. So now I have added the word bank, I have added the word fishing, I have added the word trout. Before asking AI to write an essay on the sentence of the cat sat on a bank, if I had given it this information, yesterday I went fishing by the bank and caught a trout, Now, the large language model has context. It knows exactly what this word bank means. It knows it's not a financial institution. It knows it's a riverbank. And now it's going to be able to write an essay that actually makes sense and gives relevant information. Very basic, very basic information, but very basic example, but you can apply this to your own work. And you can use it to apply on your own sort of ideas and context of your business use cases. So now knowing that more context, more information is better. It helps AI understand your world and do better. You might be inclined to say, okay, let me dump all of my documents into ChatGPT, Claude, or open Microsoft Copilot, and it's gonna know my world and it's gonna do everything better. And some of you may have even tried it. Some of you may have even given it everything you got on your documents folder or desktop and sent it, and still not gotten the same level of information that you were expecting. And the reason for that is because context is not equal to volume of information. Giving more context does not mean dumping everything that you have in it. What context means is relevant, well-structured information. So this is important to understand, the relevant and the well-structured. It's very important to understand that giving context means that you're giving the right information in the only the relevant information and only in a decently structured manner for AI to give you its best result. And so the way we kind of do that is we structure the information in our large language models properly in order for us to actually use it in a relevant manner and point our AI to only what's important instead of giving it the context of the world and letting it figure out what we need to do. Before I go into how to apply this, because knowing this, like knowing this key concept of context and what it means and how it shows up in the actual applications, the agents that we build, this changed the way I interact with AI. For me, it was a massive unlock. It was a light bulb moment to know that context, what context actually is, how it shows up, and how it should be used. Before I move into the actual application of context and how to set up context in in Claude for your use cases, I'm going to pause here and I will take, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to raise your hands or take a couple of questions to answer before we move on the application side of it. Okay. No questions means likely you got the topic. So we're going to keep going.
I
Okay.
have a question to ask you. Can you
Yeah,
hear me? Hi.
I can hear you.
This is the first time in your class or any class that I'm entering. I hope my question doesn't sound so stupid, but
No stupid questions. Please go for it.
I'm trying to study by myself, just like you. So far, I'm through my study. I realize all the information that we fit in the AI to creating an agent, local agent, is based on what we fit in. That's what you're saying, the concept.
Mhm.
Is it the concept, all the information, the data, the files, uh, are the primary files that we fed into the agent?
So, context is what the agent needs to do the job that you want it to do. So, for example,
But
my
it's different kind of files, like
correct.
DFE, MD, or skills, or MSMCD, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So different types of files, yes. And when I go into the actual hands-on demo, I'll show you how to connect those different types of files. There
Thank you.
is a thing that you can give it. Each of these models have a changing amount of context it can handle. With every newer model, it gets better and better. But the point is, we all have a lot of different types of context in our lives, right? Like, for example, if I'm speaking about myself, I work as an AI products director, so I have context regarding my work. I teach on Maven. There is separate context, different information regarding the Maven lessons that I teach. I'm a mom. There is different context about my kids. I have two boys. So there is my older one is in high school, my younger one is in elementary school. Completely different context. If I'm using AI to ask questions about one of them and I give it everything, it's not necessary and it's gonna really cloud the AI's judgment. So think about context is like the world of information, and how do you structure it uh, so that you're just spotlighting the AI's attention on the relevant information that it needs to answer the question at hand or do the job at hand. Does that make sense?
I know,
Okay.
kind of.
When we apply it, if it doesn't make sense, let's come back
I
and pick
can
this
ask
up
you
at the end.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. Stay at the end and we can pick it up at the end.
Because
Karina,
some of the concept is based on the data that you're asking. That's what you said.
yeah.
Some of the concept goes back to the information you're providing. Like your mom and your kid is basically go back to your information. If you're an employee working for an insurance company, go back to insurance company. Or if your wife goes back to house budget or whatever. But there is a certain element that is general that goes to
Yes.
AI.
Yes. So in the
Okay.
next session, I'm going to show you how to structure that. So how to
Okay. That's
structure
it.
the
That's all I
who
wanted
you
to know.
are, the who
Yeah,
you are, and the how you like things done, and
that's
then
it.
the data that you need to actually do the thing that you're asking it with all of that
Okay.
structured properly. Uh,
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry.
yeah, no problem. Karina, go ahead with your question.
Hi, it's actually Karina's husband. I'm using her Zoom account. Um, I've been developing an indicator on a trading platform, and I've spent 2 weeks busy developing this. Set up a new project, imported files all relevant to this, and yet learned through the process that it's far better to actually set prompts up. And through the process, Claude actually turns around to me and said to me on a few different instances that you don't actually need to use the prompts. It actually hinders the outcome with giving it prompts. Also, in terms of context, I spent literally probably 2 days. I asked Claude to interview me relevant to the project so that it knew what it was going to be developing. And based off of that interview, it had a foundation to actually work from, basically a trading profile. They called it a trading profile. But the context didn't help. It was my brain behind it the whole time, modifying things, and I had to basically tell the AI model again and again and again, you're going down the wrong path. This is not right. I've given you a framework to actually work within, and yet within 5, 10, 20 times a day, I have to keep on telling the AI model that you're not sticking to the context, you're not sticking to the format, you're not sticking to this. It just keeps on going off at a tangent.
Yes. So let me tell you why that happens. When this is a classic example of too much context. So when you have too much information with the AI and you constantly having a conversation, it tends to forget the initial instructions. And there are ways to address this inside of the actual system prompts that you put to say, always summarize the new information and save it inside of update the context, keep up. So AI has each of these models have a limited amount of working memory that they use. I don't want to go too much into the technical explanation of it, but the short answer for your problem is that because you're talking long conversations, a lot of different prompts, the more you give it, it starts to lose the past information. So there are tips and tricks that we can get into after once we've done the context, maybe towards the end to actually see how we can help you. But that's kind of the diagnosis of the problem, that it's
Thank you very
forgetting.
much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
I
So
have one more question. Do we write a dashboard at the end of this class?
Yes, I will give you handouts, links. These are links that you can click in working templates on, follow along step by step, and actually template to build some of your own different variation of different bosses depending on what domain you're in.
Because I know how to write the dashboard, but I have a problem how to start it. That's the problem.
Yes, hang in
Okay.
here, follow along what I'm doing, and then there will be a handout that shows you step by step how to do it for yourself. Okay. Okay, so let's go on with the setup. So exactly the setup that we're going to do today for giving Claude context is projects, skills, and connectors. These are the three things I like to use to build my context for my Claude. So projects are your world, who you are, what you do, what good looks like for you. And I set up different projects based on the different types of things that I'm doing. So for lesson planning, I have a different project. For my work, I have a different project. Even at work, if you're working on different products or you have different goals, or you wear multiple different hats, you're going to set up projects for each of those separately. So say we are building your boss. You're going to set up your project for how your boss thinks. And in the project instructions, you're going to give it that background of who you are, who you want Claude to be, what hat you want Claude to wear as it relates to this interaction. Then comes the skills. So the skills are the standards. I see a bunch of you making notes. Feel free to write if that's how you internalize things, but there will be handouts that we'll give you at the end. Just wanted to say that here. So skills are your standards. Skills are when you wear that hat, how you actually do that job, your tone, your rules, how you're basically through skills, you are teaching, basically through skills, you are teaching Claude to think about things a specific way. And then comes the connectors. So the connectors, Claude has this really cool feature where you can point it to all of your computer, all of your files, all of the different applications that you use. So you can point it, if you store your documents in Google Drive, you can point it to Google Drive. If you use transcription tools like Granola, you can point it to that. And this way you can open it up to a variety, like the spotlight that I was talking about, you can really spotlight Claude's attention on the relevant information that you want it to have. If this is the first session that you are meeting me for, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to the recordings of the previous two sessions, because in that we talked about how to set up your folder structure to work with Claude and keep the focus centered, because Google Drive is one that most people use a lot, but our Google Drives have a whole bunch of information, right? So in order to still continue that focused attention, in this slide deck, there is going to be previous slides and links to previous sessions recording. So when you get that, make sure you start from the first session, and that will really help land all of this context if you are absolutely new to this. Okay, so now let me switch to our hands-on section, and let me switch to how we actually want to do this. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna open my Claude, and then I wanna show you what I really wanted to show you here. So there are a couple of different things that we are going to be there are a couple of different handouts that you will get, and a couple of different things that we are going to be talking about. So the first one is this build your boss. And then start sharing, and I'm gonna open this in Claude, and I'll come back to you with my Claude screen quickly. Give me a second. Okay. So if you're following along while I get situated here, I want you to go in your Claude, and here's the actual, 1 second. Okay, you all are with me? We're gonna try to do this side by side in tandem. So here's the first setup. So let me make this a little bit bigger so you all can see. Here's the first setup. What we are going to do is we're going to go into Claude, and we are going to give, so we are building our boss. This is the step-by-step instruction on how we're going to build our boss. Before I go into building a boss, I want to tell you a little bit about what I do. I have a similar project on my work Claude account, and I have done this for at least a year, and it has been really helpful. So what I do is I have different personas of stakeholders, people that I interact with on my day-to-day work, and people that I need alignment from, people that either report to me, or even people I report to, or my peers. But basically, think of this as variety of different people that you interact with at work, whose buy-in you need. They either sign off in a formal capacity, or you need them to agree with you so you can together work on whatever it is that you're working on. And I use this a lot as a sparring partner for thinking and sharing my ideas before I put it in front of any human. So what I do, my process exactly is, say I have a quarterly business review coming up. I'll build the quarterly business review. My starting point, my starting notes are always my own, because remember, we don't outsource cognitive thinking. So um, my point of view is mine, and I start there, and I talk to Claude to actually build that quarterly business review deck and talk through the whole story of how we are going to do that presentation. Once I have a comfort level on, okay, this is in a good spot, it's ready for other people outside. The last step I do before sharing it with anyone else outside is I put it in this project that I have. So if I'm presenting that to my chief product officer, I'll put it in the chief product officer project. In the way I set up this project is I will show this quarterly business review deck to that, and I will say, you are so and so. I want you to shred this to pieces. I want you to find holes in my thought process. I want you to question me. I want you to grill me in a adversarial manner. This is also known as adversarial analysis, where you get AI not just to help you do your work, but the flip it on top of his head and get it to vet your work and get it to give you advice on where you have blind spots in your thinking, what type of questions to expect if you're presenting to a 50 people meeting. You want that meeting to go smooth. You don't want to walk into those meetings being caught off guard. Even if you're having a one-on-one with your boss, you want to have a good executive presence. You want to show up strong. You want to show up confident. And this type of vetting really helps me. And I have this for several different things that I do. But think of this, you can build your own for any different persona. You can have a mentor one as well. And it kind of wears that hat of a mentor and really helps to help with your thinking. So, um, what you're going to do, we're going to give our boss some memory so it remembers who they are or it knows who they are. Set standing rules. So inside skills, we're going to give it rules, and we are going to point it to the different products, applications that we have. So this is how we build it. So we're going to go to projects here in Claude. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to open on the top right corner, these three lines that you see. You're going to go there and you're going to click on a new project. And once you click on a new project, you're going to go here and say, let's build our CPO. The name that this new project shows, it's just whatever you want to know it as. But then you're going to ask it, here's where you describe the boss that you're trying to make. So in this handout on the CPO side, I have actually created a prompt for you. This can be your starting point and you can totally edit it to be whatever you need it to be. But let's see if we can copy this. Oh, it's not letting me copy it. So, oops. So let's say CPO.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh, yes, I am. Can nobody see my screen?
I can see it.
No, we cannot see it.
If you
I
click
can
on
see
the
it.
Zoom icon a couple of times, it should show up.
I can see it.
Yeah, we can see
Just
it.
refresh your screen, you might see it, but everybody else is seeing it.
Okay, so what I did is I gave it this, and you can, oh, by the way, a cool trick, these three lines on the corner here, you can make this whole thing big and you can work in it. So we gave it who you are instructions, and it knows now who this chief product officer is. Then you can give it more instructions on how you want it to review. So the top part here is your project instruction. Here, these are the actual skill that you wanted to add. And in my handouts, I have left you placeholders to make it your own, to personalize it. This is all yours to edit and go crazy with it. I just wanted to give you something to be a starting point. So now, once you've added these instructions, you can go ahead and create this project. Once you hit create project, you will come to this place. You can go back and add more instructions on Claude's responses. You can do it here. here's where you start talking to it. So if I built a CPO, every QBR, I'm going to point it to my files and grill me on the files. You can also make an autonomous skill called grill me. More on that in the actual course because it takes a lot longer than 45 minutes, but we're incrementally building on all of this. There's a lot that you can do here. This is your step one. Step two is we are going to point it to all the files, all the applications that we wanted to use in our instruction. So I have one project that I use to improve my presentation skills. And in that one project, the only connector I give it is granola, which is the meeting transcription. So in your case, you can go to here, the plus sign, and then if you go to connectors, it's going to give you a whole list of things that you want to connect to it. The way I've connected Google Drive, Granola, my Slack looks like it's disconnected, so I have to reconnect it. The way you do connectors is go to add connector here, and a whole list of connectors will open up. If you have Claude access through your work, this will also, next to Anthropic and partners, you should also see a tile for your connectors that your company has allowed you to access. So you may not be able to connect anything and everything. Different companies and your security team will have different restrictions, but you should be able to see your company specific connectors, the tools that you use to do your job over here. And it's a long list, so you can just search by whatever you want to connect, but you will see that there is a lot of different connectors. You can filter it here by data, by code, by communication, different development tools. If you want to use development tools, there are specific connectors that Claude has launched for legal and life sciences domain. So you can see a lot of those here, and basically you can just connect. It also connects to the most popular MS Office apps. So and from here on, it's very self explanatory. It's just once you hit connect, it's going to take you to this new browser window screen, and you're going to be able to just follow the steps and connect. But the point is that once you connect, now Claude can actually look at your own data on your computer inside the applications that you normally use. So let me bring you now. These are the instructions that I use today. You in the handout on the top, depending on what field you are. I'm in product, so I use CPO. If you are in finance, by the way, feel free to drop in the chat what domain you are from, whether you are legal, finance, marketing, sales, product, anything, because next 3 weeks, like this was our first session in Claude for Dummies series. Next week and the week after, I'm going to be getting deeper into this. So it will help me tailor the examples to the domains of most people. I can give you relevant handouts. If I need to add a specific domain to this handout, I can do that, because we are trying to teach anyone and everyone who's at a starting point in using Claude. So here's more. So if you need it to be some other domain, you are welcome to do it. Here's a quick reference as you use the brief, how to actually tailor it and make it your own. And then the next handout that you will get with the I think I'm using the wrong one. Hold on one second. These will be inside the actual deck. Okay, so this is another handout that's like a cheat sheet for everything we studied today. Start with project that feeds into skill, that feeds into connector, and all the things that you need to know to customize it and tailor it to make it your own. couple of other things that I want to share with you. Give me 1 second. So next, what will happen after you have done this is
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't get your handout. I fill up the form. Do you send it after the class?
Yes, it will be sent after the class.
Okay,
So
because
you
I
will see
couldn't
that
do.
you will get that in the email. So with the
Okay,
recording of this
that's
session
okay.
in the
That's okay.
email, yeah, both the Build Your Boss guide and a checklist to build how to personalize this guide on for your own use case, you will
That's
get.
okay. That's
Yeah,
okay. Then I can just follow you by looking. That's fine.
yeah,
Another question. Another question. Do we need to first set up a prompt to get the look, display of a dashboard? Or do you know how the dashboard looks like? Do you need to set up a prompt for it?
So
How
in the
does it
how
work?
to, so
Yeah.
in the instructions, right, we put two types of instructions: who you are, meaning what the role is, and then how to do the work. So under the how to section, you can change entirely what I have given you as a starting point and give it different set of instructions on what you want that project to do. And that's where you put your dashboard instruction on what the output needs to look like.
The output is a prompt, isn't it? In the beginning of it, the
Yes,
result is
yes,
the file and the instruction that you do for the file, but the output, how it looks, is the prompt
exactly.
actually. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
thanks.
exactly.
Because I was
Okay.
so confused, I wasn't sure.
I want you to try out when you get the handout, watch the previous recordings and try this one out
Yeah,
step by
I
step,
definitely will do.
and then let me know.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you all quickly about the course. So we are slowly, incrementally building, but there's only so much we can do in 45 minutes. So I have a full 4-week course that we have early bird open right now that ends close. The early bird discount ends tomorrow, I believe, at the end of day tomorrow. Quickly to share with you what we're doing in the course. It's a 4-week course. Very personalized. So if you're looking to build something that's tailored to your own specific use case, it's not generic, and tailor it to really go from 0 to 100 and fully autonomous agents that you can use on a daily basis, like truly become like the go-to person in your at your work, who uses a lot of these capabilities. It's going to be focused, very focused for 4 weeks. We learn and we build extremely hands-on. First week, we map specifically to your particular role and what you do. Then we translate that into Claude single agents. Then we build multiple agents and actual skills that execute even what I just showed you. So more and more automation layered on top of each other. And then week 4, by the time you have week 4, you'll have a fleet of multiple agents that autonomously run and surface up the work that they are doing for you to review and approve. So if you wanna do that and have a more focused, personalized attention to building these, highly encourage you to join this and take advantage of the early bird. The discount keeps, I think the early bird ends tomorrow. And then between now and July 20th, when the course is starting, every week the price goes up. We're seeing a lot of demand, so we're gonna keep raising the price little by little every week. So if you're interested, I would say the price that it is today and tomorrow, it's the lowest that you will see. Okay, let's talk about how to keep beyond the course, how to keep learning. Fill out the form to get all my resources as they drop in your inbox. And next week, we are going to build your own super assistant without coding in Cowork. So we're going to see how we can automate a workflow in Cowork. We're going to do Cowork 101. We're going to set you up and teach you how to get started and start using Cowork to really start automating and offloading a lot of the actual execution and thinking, not thinking, the doing part of it to Cowork. And now we move into the fun part, which is Q&A. So now we are open for questions. Aditya, go ahead.
Thanks for the lovely session. That's a great intro. I have a general question, which is what is a harness? Because we keep hearing this term in this context of Claude and many other systems. So what is really the harness according to you?
Harness is technical word, but the simple explanation for that is a way in which you focus attention to one specific content. So how you build context, it's a technical way of explaining what a harness, a focused attention and how to build a context which stays with the agent in the memory, and you can use it over and over again. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
Sorry, hi, it's here. How does a harness differ from a project? Because you give context in the project and then you connect it to different skills, etc. Like how does that work?
So harness is a way to say when you're building actual agents. So project, the word project that you're using, it's a feature inside of Claude Code, right? You're building a project inside the actual chat functionality of the actual Claude product. Harness is the actual infrastructure that you build that wraps around the large language model to manage the tool execution. So if you're building an agentic, if you're building an AI agent that is in production, you have all the calls, all the connectors that you made, right? Like let's use one connector, Google Drive. In an actual agent that you are building, the agent can make calls. It can take action for you. So it can actually make a call to Google Drive, read your document, update that document, create a new document. These are the way Claude interacts with these is called tool calling. So you have a project that is focused on just the broader system architecture with specific rules, goals, and scaffolding only inside of that project. A harness is where you have tools as well, the tool calling as well, and it holds the memory, the state, the context that turns the raw model into a production ready agent. So harness for a agent that's in production is a level above what a project is. Project's self-contained and it's representing just the rules, goals, and the scaffolding used for that particular use case. It's not actually making tool calls and things like that outside. So the focus of a harness is connecting AI securely to your systems and orchestrating the complex workflow. But a focus of the project is organizing and executing on the actual objective, the business objective, using the knowledge that you've given inside of that project. Okay.
Okay,
Nithin,
thank you.
go.
Yeah, hi. I had a question. I filled out a form, but all the documents that you referred to in this session, will that be part of that, or is there a separate link that I didn't see?
No, the form that you filled out will, the recording, a recap, as well as the handouts will all be sent to you. in the email. It takes 24 hours for the recording to be
Okay.
available in Maven. So you'll get one email called session recap and it'll have everything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. I think,
Quick question. Hi, this
yeah,
is Sharon. Great session, by the way, very informative.
thank you.
Have you already done a session just on building agents? That's really
No,
where I'd like to focus. Okay,
no, not yet. Meet
okay,
me next week because the main concept we are going to learn next week is what is an agent,
okay,
the anatomy of an agent, and then we're going to go use that information and apply it in co-work.
okay. Great. Thank you. I look forward to that.
Yeah, no problem.
Hi,
All right.
Theory.
Yeah,
Mentioning
hi.
he's asking what's the best way to clearly understand differences between Claude Code and Claude Cowork, and also between agents and skills. If you can answer that, that would be great.
Uh, the second question I understood the difference between agents and skills. What was the first question?
Code, Claude Code, and Claude Cowork.
Oh, yes. So let's start there. That's the easier thing to answer. Claude Code is Claude Code actually connects to your CLI on the computer, and it's an autonomous coding agent. So it will write code for you. If you want to do heavy duty work, like building an application from the ground up, Claude Code is the tool that you would use because you can actually talk to the coding agent in natural language. You can operate in it through the terminal on your computer as well as the actual UI inside of a Claude desktop app. But essentially, Claude Code writes code for you. Cowork is more a workflow automation type of a tool. It will automate a lot of, you can build simple agents and it can quickly automate your workflows. Like, for example, one is read through my emails and give me a to-do list for tomorrow, or read through my Slack and email and tell me who's waiting for me on something. These are all appropriate for co-work. It's more execution focused, and code is more if you want to develop something from 0 to 1 and write code. That's the difference between co-work and Claude Code. We mostly focus on Claude, the actual chat side of Claude Cowork. That's where I like to focus on because I'm trying to help people who are completely novice with no technical background. So we don't really go, not yet anyway, in the lightning sessions in the Claude Code area. The second question was, what's the difference between skills and what else? Agents. Okay, skills are set of reusable instructions, domain knowledge that an agent can execute on. So agent is the layer that decides which skill to invoke and execute on, and a skill is the actual instructions that you wrap as a reusable thing that you can just, for example, if you want to read a PDF, instead of teaching Claude every time that here's the PDF and here's how I want you to read it, you can build a skill that says that's a PDF reader and you can just invoke it in Claude. We will look at that as well in the next session on how to actually invoke the skill feature inside of Claude to execute on it. So I have a lot of different skills for my own personal work. I have one that says user research. And if I want to do research or competitive intel, so I invoke that skill and it's pre-baked with all my prompts and instructions. So I just have to write competitive intel and then the name of the company, and it will go and do this deep research on whatever competitor I want to do research on. And you can build skills for your own personal use cases. I have one that I like really, but it's very expensive on the tokens. It's called a prompt generator skill. So instead of telling it to ask me questions to generate a prompt, I've taught it all of that. So I just invoke prompt generator and I generate a prompt for me on designing a new logo, and it will generate a whole prompt that I can copy and paste in Claude Design, and it will generate a logo for me. Those types of things. So skills are um, packaged reusable instructions, procedural instructions that you want to invoke for it to do. An agent is the actual execution layer on top of it. And this will make more sense when we apply it in the co-work session next week. Okay. Karina, go ahead. Or Karina, yeah, go
It's
ahead.
her husband.
Yeah, Karina's husband, go ahead.
It's Paul here. So I'm going to go back to what I asked before. So I've got a extremely good trading background, but I'm not a coder. I don't program, and I've basically been using Claude, but the normal chat version of Claude, in order to develop a number of indicators that I basically upload into TradingView, which is a platform, and I use that as my core trading foundation now. You've spoken about the code aspect of Claude. I haven't used that. Should I actually be using that? I've actually developed some really good indicators using the normal chat profile.
So the benefit of using Claude Code for specifically your use case, because you're building an application, right? You're not trying to automate your day-to-day workflows. So chat and co-work are great at automating your day-to-day workflows. But if you want to build a system and an app or a product, as we call it, to do work for you on a regular basis, and you want to use it in variety of different use cases, then Claude Code is a good way to go. The problem that you are experiencing, and you can go down a rabbit hole and research more about this. The word to search for is called um, context rot. So what's happening is your
Context rot.
context rot. Yeah, rot, like rotting.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, basically what's happening, I think my diagnosis of the problem that you have is that it's forgetting what you're saying because the working memory is small. There are few things you can try, but eventually if your scale is bigger, you will probably have to shift to Claude Code. But you can reset your session whenever your context reaches 60% of its token limit. So you would have to you basically what's happening is you probably have large monolithic prompts that are going on, and a lot like a long series of serialization of prompts. So you're constantly going. If you can do a few different tools, things, and I'm gonna tell you the names of it because it's a lot to teach everything here. But if I tell you, you can probably search it up and we can do a longer session. But one way to do it is do the step by step in your prompt. Ask it to do it step by step. Step one, do it like this. Step two, do it like this, and then it can compress the work so you can keep talking. Claude Code automatically does that. So when you're working in Claude Code, it will tell you, let me compress our chat so we can keep chatting. It's smart enough to know when the context is getting too much, it will compress so it doesn't lose that. So you will, easiest fix is to go that route. But if you want to keep working in this, keep doing serialization. You can reset your do a session reset and start a new session for a new set of steps that you want to do. There is a more complex, technically complex technique called RAG that you can go towards because if you're giving it a lot of documents and it looks through all of your reference files every time you ask it a question, that's probably what's bloating the context. So
So,
RAG,
so essentially what I've done is through TradingView, you can actually download a whole bunch of CSV files based off of the ticker that you're looking at. So you can actually get Claude, and I've been getting it to do this, is to backtest
yeah.
core CSV files, and we're building indicators based off of that backtested information. So you can basically go and backtest itself off raw data, off an actual trading platform. So it keeps on doing that. And in my file section, I've actually got a whole bunch of other information which I've imported, including my trading profile. And I've noticed that it actually does compact information, but because of the level that I'm working at, I ran out of tokens very, very quickly because it's very in-depth things that I'm
Yeah,
building.
I think starting to switch to Claude Code is probably your best bet based on what you're telling
Okay.
me.
Okay. I'll look at that. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Look
Yeah,
forward to
no problem.
the coming weeks.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Very excited for next Saturday. So I'm hoping that you will all join me next Saturday for our session on agents and co-work. But thank you for spending your Saturday morning with me. I hope it was useful and valuable, and I will see you next week.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.